Hey everybody, I thought I'd just share something with you that I've learned riding a motorcycle that would help you in this pandemic or in life. And you're probably thinking, well, what can you learn driving a motorcycle that's going to help you? Well, before I tell you that, I want to tell you a story. My grandson, we bought him a bicycle. This was over in Montana, and he was all excited to ride this. He got on it. 2 wheels, no training wheels. Just started driving it across the yard. And we had set up in this yard a large swimming pool that is above the ground. And he just saw that swimming pool. He just drove right to it, drove right into it, smashed into it, and the water went everywhere. Now, why am I telling you that? It's because he had something in motorcycle we would call target fixation. He actually went where he was looking. He got afraid, he got fixated on that, he froze, and he drove right into this swimming pool. And one of the things you learn about motorcycling is that you go where you're looking. You need to turn your head and your eyes, and your bike will naturally follow you where you're going. Something every person who rides a motorcycle needs to know: look where you go. It's the most single important thing that you can do. And you've got to be careful of target fixation. And today you might have a problem. You may not be riding a motorcycle, but you might have a problem with target fixation. You might be looking at your problems. The nation of Israel went in to spy the land. They sent in 12 spies. 10 of them came back. And they said, the people there are giants. And they said, we look like grasshoppers. That's how they compared themselves. They were busy looking at their problems. They were looking at the situation. They weren't looking at their God. 2 spies looked, and they said, we're able to go in and take the land. And sometimes our target fixation is the things we fear the most. We are fixated on them, and that's all we look at. I think of Peter walking on the water, and Jesus had come, and he had his eyes fixed on Jesus, and he started walking on the water until a wind came and some waves appeared. He then changed his gaze, and he looked upon the waves, and that's when he started to sink. So don't look at your fears. Don't look at your problems. Some of us have a tendency of driving forward, looking in our rearview mirror, looking behind us. You're not really going to go very far forward if you're stuck in your past, if you're looking behind you all the time. That's not your destination. I think of Lot's wife when she left and she was told not to look behind her, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. She couldn't leave her past. She couldn't look to the future. And then another place people fixate is they look at others. Talk about a joy robber. There's always somebody better than you, smarter than you, more handier than you. And comparison is not a good way to live your life. Those who compare themselves to others are not wise. That's what the Bible says. So quit looking at others. Well, then you think, who am I supposed to look at? Well, some people, they look at themselves. It's like they're standing in front of a mirror, just studying themselves. I call them spiritual navel gazers. And all they do is they look at themselves. You look at yourself long enough, you might see a lot of good stuff, but sooner or later, you're going to see your failures. You're going to see your flaws. You're going to see your weakness. You're going to see your shortcomings. We're not perfect people. Well, what else can we fixate on? We can fixate on the news. You can watch one channel of news or another channel of news, and that news is going to be steering you one way or another. You don't want the news steering you. So where do we focus? The Bible says, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. We need to keep our eyes upon him. I think of a song that says, turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. And when we think about people in the Bible, who were successful, they had their gaze in other places. Abraham, Father Abraham, it says that he was looking for a city whose maker and foundations and builder was God. We need to look unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. I think of Isaiah when he said, in the year King Isaiah died, he saw Jesus, he saw the Lord high and lifted up. In a very depressing time, his whole perspective changed because he saw Jesus. So what I want to say is, if you could get your nose in the book, keep your eyes upon Jesus, don't be looking at everything else around you, you're going to be successful. Was it Elijah, I think, or Elijah? When the servant came and they were surrounded by armies and he was all panicked, and Elijah said, he opened his eyes and he said, more are they with us than they that are with them. The army of the Lord, the angels were surrounding them at that time. So as we're riding motorcycles, we look where we're going. In our spiritual life, in our physical life, look where you're going. Look to the Lord. I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a good day.